What's going on, sports fans? This is Jake Waxman.
And Tyler Lavalette.
Welcoming you back to the studio here at WTV 10 for another Friday Roundtable. And by the way, after a 2-week absence, sports fans, I am back. Sorry I've been away for 2 weeks. Family, life, you know what? Just want to clarify that real quick. And I want to give a hats off to the guys who took my place last week for the Friday Roundtable and helped Tyler Lavalette. So, I'm back, sports fans. And all right, so this is going to be your normal Friday Roundtable podcast. Just want to get that out of the way real quick. And we're going to start off with what else but baseball?
Absolutely. Things have turned around quite nicely for the Tigers. They have just finished up a pretty good 6-game homestand, going 6-0 with 2 sweeps against the Marlins and the Royals, including a crazy win yesterday where that needed a 9th-inning walk-off to win and by 2 rain delays. However, the clip focused on today came from Sunday's finale against the Marlins when prospect Kevin McGonigal, who skipped Toledo and after a good run in spring training, got called up to the Tigers. He hit his first home run at Comerica Park on Sunday afternoon with Dan Dickerson, the radio voice, doing TV work. And pay attention to the voice crack. Run the clip, please.
Fly ball, right field, deep, got a chance. Number 1 for Kevin McGonigal.
That's definitely the first of what will be many for him. Helped out the Tigers beat the Marlins that day, and like I said, they have swept the Royals. They are currently tied in with the Twins for second in the AL Central. As we keep saying, the sport is a marathon, not a sprint. So hopefully the worries we had last week against the Twins are a little behind us now, and we can now keep focusing on going back to baseball. Just watch that swing. That was so beautiful.
That's just his MO too. He's just going to come right after you. Look at him coil back.
That looked like a powerful hit.
Just kind of
everything
is set up right
in
the
field
middle that just
seats
explodes
too.
into the baseball.
Side note, I will be at the game on Tuesday night against Milwaukee. I will be in that area with my brother and his girlfriend for that one. Should be going to be fun.
And first of all, before I start talking about Tigers, I want to tell my man, enjoy, have fun with your folks. And,
I will.
Nighttime baseball, nothing like it.
Can't wait to see. Hopefully the weather's good enough so I can get a good view of that sunset. Even not dealing with the sun per se, but still.
Yeah, and I was going to say, Detroit sunsets, nothing like them. And especially when you're at the ballpark at night, it's pretty special. Even if you don't see the sun, like you get the colors in the sky around sunset, that's a pretty beautiful sight. Tyler mentioned it. Tigers looking pretty good. They're starting to round into form. Their young prospects are stepping up. And I will say this. Like I said, early start to the season, you might have some bumps in the road. And it looks like that's, from what I can best tell, the Tigers, they've hit a few early bumps, just, new faces in the crowd. Just, you got to hit the ground running. You got to, have some bumps early and then and then eventually, once you get that all shaken out, and early season jitters, it's going to happen. And like Tyler said, it's a marathon. You don't have to start fast out of the gate early. You just got to, have things, have your lineups figured out and figure out, what's working early and what's not. The Tigers right now, they look like, they're taking notes on what hasn't been working early, and they're adjusting. And as Tyler said, so in my notes, which I brought with me today, of course, I did these yesterday, so the Tigers were third when I took notes. So Tyler has given me thank you for the update.
Second. Apparently, I think it's a tie for second or probably third. I think it is, but regardless, it's still good to have it all. You got situations resolved early. You got Baez back in center field. That's going to be awesome. I can't wait to find the next great catch from El Mago.
Look how excited this guy is Look how excited Tyler is right now for this. I mean, hey, no bigger baseball fan than I know than Mr. Tyler Lavalette.
Now the Tigers are playing 4 in Boston, including a special Monday 11 a.m. game at Fenway Park as that Monday marks Patriots Day in New England, coinciding with the Boston Marathon, which runs past Fenway Park as well. So if you watch the game on Monday, are wondering why are they playing at 11? That's why.
Would never have guessed that. Traditions, of course.
Nothing wrong with them.
Yep. So, before I get into the Cubs, just to mention, I do my notes the night before we do a podcast, so I'm probably off by a lot, and chances are I had the Tigers, when I last looked, their record was 10-9. I bet it's probably 11-9 if they played earlier today. Is that correct?
They don't play until a little bit tonight.
Okay. I just didn't know what was correct or not. And then, here's the thing. If you think the Tigers were really kind of hitting some bumps in the road, I mean, that's nothing compared to what my Cubs have gone through. So, the Cubs it's been a rocky start to the season, to say the least, for the Cubs. They sit at, as far as I know, the bottom of the NL Central. Not good. Not good, Bob. Not good.
Ouch.
But the good news is the last few games have been an improvement. Hitting has been a lot better in the last 2 games. And, of course, earlier today, they've been – okay, so as of right now, they're playing the New York Mets. And last I checked, the score was, I believe, 7-3. Again, I haven't checked the score since.
It is since now gone final. It is a 12-4 Cubs victory.
Holy crap. Wow. So the last 2 games, get this, 11 runs against that last game against the Phillies, and now 12 today against the Mets. Wow. So I keep saying you need to have loud bats at all throughout the year. Well, the Cubs' bats are definitely making a whole lot of noise, which is good. So good, strong hitting in the last 2 games. Just need to get the consistency nailed down and, get over those early season hurdles. And a little message to Craig Counsell. Okay, Craig, we need you to be better, all right? We need you to be more consistent in your coaching, all right? I know it's the early start of the year, but you know what? If we're going to win the NL Central, if we're going to win that, if we're going to do something in the playoffs, we got to start strong and maintain that consistency all throughout the season. Thankfully, when it comes to the MLB, it's not how you start. It's how you finish. And the regular season, that is the biggest case. If you finish strong, good chance you're probably going to go to the postseason, unless, of course, you really had the rockiest of starts. So, not the best start to the season for the Cubs, but all signs are indicating they are finally starting to get their stuff together.
That is good. We really want to see that. See a good Cubs team again. Mm-hmm. We had something good going back in June.
The thing is, me and Tyler, everyone's got dreams, all right? And even sports fans have dreams. And me and Tyler, we just want to see a championship. We're at Chicago versus Detroit. Mm-hmm. We'd love to see Cubs versus Tigers World Series. I mean, it's happened before, like way back in 1945.
Should have happened in '84 had they beaten one more game against the Padres.
Oh, I forgot about that too. So, I mean, that's life as a Cubs fan. Even with 2016, there's still that pain. That's being a Cubs fan.
Of course, guy didn't get lights until '88, and things would have been a little chaotic for the World Series, but you have the lights now, so.
The thing if they had gone to the World Series, they would have had to rent lights.
Or they probably would have had from what I've read, they would have had the weekend day games 3 through 5 at Wrigley, games 1, 2, 6, and 7 in Detroit.
Okay.
But there were also talks of them having to play elsewhere, and if they made like 85 or something, but they got the lights in 88, so moot point.
Yep, case in point. And close off this subject. All right, so both the Tigers and the Cubs, they've had some bumps in the road, had some early struggles, a little, some things where they're trying to figure out which piece goes where, where each starting piece is, how best to assemble a team or the starting lineup. But good news is, if you're a Tigers fan and you're a Cubs fan right now, your teams are starting to figure it out. Both the Tigers and the Cubs, I mean, for different reasons. Tigers, a lot of young prospects stepping up, while the Cubs, the bats are getting loud, and that is a good thing.
Absolutely. Plenty of season to go.
Yep, but a lot to feel good about so far. All right, here's the thing. So the Cubs, they might not be looking good right now, but, long season. A lot of games to play. Just got to put it all together, one game at a time. Mm-hmm. All right, and now we can shift gears. Believe it or not, we're at that time of the year where the greatest postseason, in my opinion, besides March Madness, is back. And that is none other than the Stanley Cup Playoffs. It all begins this weekend on Saturday. Before we get to that, I'm going to let Tyler vent some frustrations real quick.
Thank you, Mr. Waxman, for giving
Take
me
your
the
time.
floor. I am not, of course, pleased with another year of the Red Wings failing to make it to April and May hockey that is meaningful once again. In another year under the Eiser plan that has gone woefully sideways, largely thanks to a very bad March that really derailed what was a promising run, top in our division, best record in the East, and it all fell apart again. Yeah, there's injuries and what have you, but some of this is definitely on some bad trades and some bad free agency acquisitions, I'm sure, but at what point do we have to pull the plug on the Eiser plan? At what point do you run out of leash and say, he's gone? I don't know. This offseason is crucial. Get things fixed and try to figure out what's going on in March every year that keeps giving us this trip into the eliminated stage. Come on.
I mean, I will say this. You guys know the Red Wings, the Blackhawks, they're big rivals. And, I like to give Tyler a little bit of a hard time about the Red Wings not doing so good. But I will say the collapse of the Red Wings was shocking to me. Just as shocking to me as it was to Tyler. They were looking so good going into March. And then, like Tyler said, it all fell apart. The game that comes to mind when it comes to the Red Wings collapse this year is that Florida Panthers game. Everybody is going to be talking about that regular season game in Detroit for some time, and not for the right reasons. The Red Wings, they were leading the Panthers in regulation under a minute to go, and the Panthers scored 2 unanswered goals to win that game in regulation. They didn't just force overtime. They literally won in regulation. That's pretty much sums up what happened to the Red Wings. They blew that game, and I think from that point on, the confidence was just shot from that game.
Well, losing 8-1, the finale did not help the cause at all. But by the time we were in Tampa and Sunrise, we were already done as it after losing to New Jersey last Saturday. So there's that.
Oh man, I was gonna say, what was formerly known as Twitter, of course, it's now known as X. It was such an uproar. I was scrolling through, and man, Red Wings fans were not happy. And there's a guy that me and Tyler follow called U-Tree. He also goes by the name Scholasser. I guess every time they would post the final score. U-Tree would post a graphic. You know how we get the thank you fans?
Yep.
Well,
replace the TH with an F. We will not go further.
Yeah, it was just a.
You
effort.
get the picture.
Yeah.
It
was not.
Fingered. We have.
Yeah. So.
We're trying to be family friendly.
But of course, I really actually don't take really all that much pleasure in the Wings missing the playoffs because the Blackhawks aren't in it either. And on my Wax on Wednesday, I explained, young teams still rebuilding. Of course, injuries and confidence was shot in December. Like, they just never really got it back together at that point. But Alex Vlasic, I'm going to hold you to your word. You said this. It's playoffs or bust next year. And you know what? I don't disagree with him. At the very least, Chicago, you got to get close to the playoffs. At least, if you don't make the playoffs, at least you got to be competitive, got to be very close. Or that chair is going to be extremely on fire for Kyle Davidson of Chicago.
And what about Jeff Blashill? What happened? How's he been doing these days?
I mean, here's the thing. The season started off so strong, and I was like, maybe the Blackhawks made a good hire. But I'm going to stay neutral on this. We'll find out more, especially in this upcoming season. And keep in mind, this roster he didn't have really any input in this year's Blackhawks roster. And I like to think he did the best with what he was given. Just not really a coaching. I'm not really going to blame Jeff Blashill for why the Blackhawks didn't make the playoffs. It's really more of young team, inexperienced, not able to sustain the momentum they built up in October and November, and injuries. Number of different things that kept the Blackhawks out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
And different situation from the Red Wings where they were right in the playoff picture and then everything just tanked in March.
Oh, and the Rangers also missed the playoffs. So all three teams celebrating their centenary got the gift of no Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah, so for all three teams who were celebrating their centennial season, their 100th season, not even close to being one to remember. It's more like, for the Blackhawks and the Rangers especially, they want to just forget about their 100th season. And I imagine Red Wing fans probably want to just forget about the 100th season too.
All right, now we got that out of our system. Can we get on to the fun?
Yes. Let's start. We'll run through some predictions real quick. So we got the Senators and the Hurricanes. Really fascinating matchup. Happy for the Senators. They're back in the postseason. I think the Hurricanes are going to be just a little too strong. I see that series going to 6 games in favor of the Hurricanes. Wild and Stars. That's right, the Minnesota Wild back in the playoffs with, believe it or not, if I'm correct, one of the Hughes brothers, Quinn Hughes, I believe he plays for the Wild. And you got the Stars. Those Dallas Stars, they came up short of making the Stanley Cup Finals last year against those Oilers. This year, I don't have them getting back to the Western Conference Finals because I think this Wild team is really, really improved. I've got the Wild in 6. And then Flyers and Pens. Okay. The Penguins being in the Stanley Cup playoffs, just a little surprising. But the Flyers? I did not see this coming. The Flyers, they are back in the playoffs. Who would have thunk that, Tyler?
And they got a Keystone State rivalry.
This is going to be a juicy matchup. And you know what? I'm feeling bold. Just for something to keep in mind, I don't know all about, I love hockey, but that doesn't mean I'm an all-knower when it comes to hockey, all right? And especially when it comes to the Stanley Cup playoffs, because I'm just going to, I'm just going to say this. Flyers in 7. I'm going boldly on this one.
Okay, I kind of seem like I'm kind of agreeing with you here on the Wild and the Hurricanes and the Flyers partially because I'm just kind of just a guy with not much of an understanding of what's going on these days. I mean, I understand hockey. I just don't understand that the playoffs are about to start.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat with you, Tyler. Like, the NHL hockey I have watched, it's been all Blackhawks.
Right.
Folks call me that biased because you know what? It's true. I focus on my teams way more so than I focus on like other teams. But I do try to watch like other NHL games and March Madness, of course. My mind's still a little foggy from March Madness. Congrats to the Michigan Wolverines, by the way, on winning the national championship.
That was fun.
Man, that team was just way too good.
All right. Yeah, that was fun. Anyway, we got more matchups to worry about.
Yep, Kings and Avalanche. All right, I'm just going to, okay. Kings are back in the playoffs, but they're going up against the juggernaut that is the Avalanche. I see this one. I see the Avalanche winning this series in just 5 games. This will be a short series. Canadiens and Lightning. A rematch of the 2021 Stanley Cup Finals.
Yep, only time you're really going to have it on east of the Mississippi River because of the circumstances.
Yeah, that felt more like an Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
But in that case, it was a Stanley Cup Finals because, as Tyler mentioned, circumstances.
Yep.
I'll go Bolts in 6, although I may not know what I'm talking about here with this one. I mean, I do think the Canadiens could win this series, but hard to say.
I can agree. I have to agree with you on the Avs. Kings are probably not ready yet. You never can count out Martin St. Louis and Les Habitants. I'm going to see them riding the upset. Florida can't dominate hockey forever.
Yeah. Did we mention, by the way, the Florida Panthers are not in this year's Stanley Cup playoffs field? So that's right. Go for it, Ty.
Yep, that the 2-time defending Stanley Cup champs had to pay the dues.
Yep.
So now the hopes of the Sunshine State staying dominant in the 2020s for hockey with having the Stanley Cup is the Lightning. The team that really kickstarted it earlier.
Question is, will they be fully charged this playoffs, or will we have a static discharge? So I know it was a bad pun.
Or will they have to trot out the painful tweet from 2018 that has been mocked to time and eternity? I think you guys kind of know what I'm talking about.
Yep. And we've got 3 more to predict. We got Oilers and Ducks. It's not the Kings that the Oilers are playing this time. It's rather the Ducks. So it's that other team from California. But congrats to the Ducks on getting back.
Yep, another LA-based team.
Yep.
You know, they call them Anaheim.
Yeah.
At least they don't do the crap like Moreno does with the Angels.
The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. I do, yeah. I'm glad they're just the Anaheim Ducks, not the LA Ducks of Anaheim.
Goodness, you don't own the Moreno.
Well, I will say this. This is another case where the Duckies this will be a case where the Ducks will have a very short stay in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I've got the Oilers in 5.
I hope they like roast duck.
Or wouldn't surprise me to see our Edmonton Oilers play the game we know as Duck Hunt. That famous NES.
Are just
There's a
right there on a platter.
Let's get some duck. That might motivate the Anaheim Ducks.
The punch are just that easy to make.
I like me some duck too. Duck, it tastes good. Mammoth and the Golden Knights. This will be a good matchup. Happy for the Utah Mammoth. They're in the playoffs for the first time since moving to Utah. But I think this though they can celebrate making the playoffs, but I have a feeling the Golden Knights are going to be just a little too much for the Mammoth. I got Knights in 6.
Yeah, I think the Knights are going to prove that not every expansion team is going to make any relocate or expansion team is going to have a deep run in their first appearance in the Stanley Cup final like they did 9 years ago. So, yeah, that one, the Mammoth are just maybe playing a little over their head, so to speak. But I'm not going to deny how awesome it is that they're going to be in the first round.
Yeah, and 2 years after moving from Arizona, all that chaos, it took them just 2 years to get to the postseason. That's impressive.
And a good brand, too, at that.
Absolutely.
No hockey club branding here.
Yep, Mammoths. I like that name for a hockey team.
Mm-hmm. And Jetty, but Mammoth works.
Yep. And last but not least, Sabres and Bruins. How about this? The longest playoff drought in the NHL has been ended. Congrats to the Buffalo Sabres.
Yes,
welcome back.
All congratulations are involved and all frustrations to the Red Wings now. But seriously, it is good that upstate New York gets to have a hockey team get to celebrate being in the playoffs. And hey, I could see them beating the Bruins.
You know what? I just full sent this prediction. Sabres in 6. I think Buffalo wins it. Not only have they just ended their playoff drought, I think they're also going to get a playoff series win at the very least in this Stanley Cup playoffs. I got them winning over the Bruins in 6 games.
Nice.
And any other predictions you have for the Stanley Cup playoffs so far, my man?
Can't think of much. I mean, it's still way too early to figure out who's going to be a Stanley Cup champion or not. And I'm not really happy with the seeding. I mean, it's not 1-8, 2-3-7, 2-4, 5-6. You know how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bettman really ruined it in favor of having more regional rivalries to begin with.
Yeah. I mean, I know there are people who like this current Stanley Cup playoff format. I think I like the other one better. This one's still exciting, don't get me wrong. And the Stanley Cup playoffs, always exciting. But I did like the previous format better, where you kind of really could get the best teams to get to the conference finals. But that's just me. And sports fans, like Tyler said, we're not going to go too much farther than that. We'll go round by round, and we'll talk about the Stanley Cup playoffs in the coming days, of course.
Yep, we got plenty of time to digest this.
Yep, enjoy.
All these rounds are 7 games, so 5-on-5 overtime, 20-minute period if need be, winner take all.
Nothing better. And all of it for the ultimate prize in in my opinion, the greatest prize in all sports, the Stanley Cup. Tough trophy to win. All right. Since me and Tyler are not going to be here this upcoming week, it is important that we cover the NFL draft. That's right. That wonderful time of year where young men aspiring to play football at the highest level will see their dreams come true on draft night. And the great feeling of when your name is called.
Matt, it is. And Pittsburgh, good luck. You're gonna have quite the opportunity to host the draft and present your city in front of a national audience. Doubly so when you have the Penguins and the Flyers matchups.
And yes, sir. Lots of exciting times going on in Pittsburgh, and their Pirates, I think, aren't doing too bad right now, if I'm correct.
So far, not too shabby, but hey, long season.
Absolutely, there's still time for us to laugh at the Pirates, of course. But for now, they're doing pretty well.
Yeah, for now.
Yep, I'll roll through some of the predictions I have. All right, I'm going to start with the obvious. First overall pick belongs to the Las Vegas Raiders, and you know what? I'd be lying if I said it wasn't going to be Fernando Mendoza, the quarterback from Indiana. No, it's going to be Fernando Mendoza. Raiders, they need a quarterback.
Yeah, they need help. Go get them. He helped lead the Hoosiers to their championship. Open and shut.
Yep. Hopefully he does well because I'm not sure exactly what the direction is out there in Las Vegas in terms of team building, but maybe Fernando Mendoza could be that piece that helps the Raiders find consistency and a winning formula out in the desert in Las Vegas. We got the Jets. I've got them taking the edge rusher out of Texas Tech and David Bailey, and then another edge rusher at number 3 for the Arizona Cardinals. They'll take Arvo Reese out of Ohio State, so that is going to make it 2 edge rushers in a row. Again, just to reiterate, I'm not all ball knower, okay? And when it comes to the drafts, folks, I'm no genius. I'm just making a prediction.
Mel Kiper, you are not.
Yeah, I'm no Mel Kiper, but you know what?
I'll leave that to him.
Even Mel Kiper, even people give Mel Kiper a hard time. I mean, this was the same guy, by the way, who thought Mitchell Trubisky was the best quarterback in the 2017 draft, and we saw how that turned out. At the expense of the Bears, especially. Yeah, I still remember that. All I could do is laugh. That's all I could do. That's why Mel Kiper's had a lot of predictions gone wrong. And he even said that Julio Jones wasn't going to be a great NFL wide receiver. That really blew up in his face, too. So just to name a couple of predictions, like he gets some right, but then there's the ones he gets wrong, he really gets wrong.
Oh, the stinkers really outweigh the diamonds.
And then you're probably wondering, sports fans, in terms of my draft predictions, do I have a trade in the first round? And the answer to that question is yes, I've got one. The Commanders and the Titans, they're going to swap picks in the first round. Commanders, they're going to move up and get the best offensive tackle in the draft from Miami, Francis Mauigoa.
All right.
And then the Giants, I have them staying at number 5. They're going to take a tackle as well. This one out of Georgia by the name of Monroe Freeling. That's right, Monroe Freeling. What a name.
Interesting.
Yep. And then for Cleveland, okay, you know what? Cleveland, Ohio State connection, why not? They need a wide receiver. Carnell Tate's going to be available. I've got the Cleveland Browns taking the wide receiver out of Ohio State by the name of Carnell Tate.
Hey, I mean, the Lions have had a few guys from Michigan play, so.
Mm-hmm. You just never know. Titans from the Commanders, of course. Remember I said they were going to trade?
Yep.
Just a prediction. I got them taking a wide receiver, a guy by the name of Jordan Tyson from Arizona State. Titans looking for weapons for their young quarterback in Cam Ward. And here's
Not a fan of the Titans rebranding logos.
I was going to say the new uniforms are cool, but why did they take the flames off the logo? I actually really like the flames on the logo. What was wrong with that?
Logo looks meh.
Yeah, now it's just a T with the circle around to indicate the logo from the state of Tennessee.
Right.
But
The
yeah,
state flag.
it just doesn't work in this case. Like the white and blue, like going back to the Oilers colors, I like that. But changing the logo, like Tyler said, meh.
Yeah.
It's just boring.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep. And then here's probably what I think is going to be the biggest surprise.
Run.
The Saints at number 8. They stay at number 8. They don't address any of their real big draft needs. Instead, they decide to roll the dice on Notre Dame's Jeremiah Love. The running back, of course, that's going to be a running back going at number 8. And hey, it's happened in the past. We've seen running backs even go higher in the past. And of course, teams typically don't draft running backs this high. But you know what? The Saints, they got all sorts of things they need. This team is in a deep, deep rebuild. Mm-hmm. You might as well just full send it and give yourself a star player, a star running back. Why not Jeremiah Love? And here's something else to keep in mind. There's going to be a lot of teams that are going to try to trade up and get Jeremiah Love. And Tyler Lovelet, I will say this. It will not surprise me if Detroit is one of those teams that looks to trade up to acquire Jeremiah Love.
Anything can go when we get to the first round of the draft.
Absolutely.
Now, that being said, what do you have for our two teams?
For our two teams, I'll get to that in a moment. We got 2 more picks in the top 10. I'll get to that. For the Chiefs, okay, they need a wide receiver really, really badly. Their guys last year all had like stone hands. Bad case of stone hands. It was a big reason why they lost a lot of games and missed the playoffs.
Ouch.
I've got them taking Micaiah Lemon, the wide receiver out of USC. And finally, to wrap things up, there's the Bengals. They need all sorts of help on defense. I got them going with the best cornerback in the draft in Jermod McCoy out of Tennessee. And now I'm going to answer Tyler's question and fulfill his request. He wants to know what the Lions are going to do. I don't think they're going to get Jeremiah Love because I think some other team's going to take him.
Right.
But, I mean, if the Lions are able to trade high enough to get him, it wouldn't surprise me if they do that. Get a nice complimentary piece to Jahmyr Gibbs. That would be a dangerous running back, dude.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Love and Gibbs. But in this case, I've got the Lions at number 17 taking the offensive tackle out of Georgia Tech by the name of Keelan Rutledge. There's a lot of needs for the Lions at defense, but also that offensive line needs quite a bit of work. Mm-hmm. And they lost some pieces due to retirement and free agency. So it would not shock me if the Detroit Lions decide to bolster up their offensive line. And I think a guy like Keelan Rutledge would be a pretty good fit for the Lions. Mm-hmm. As for the Bears, it's going to be all defense. No question. One guy that I've been keeping my eye out on is a guy by the name of Dylan Thieneman. Used to play for Purdue. He's going to be he's an Oregon Duck, or when they announce his name, they'll say safety Oregon. Mm-hmm. That's a player that the Bears I bet are considering, but I don't think they're going to draft him. The Bears are going to be looking more to address the issue of not having an edge rusher, someone to go along with Montez Sweat. I like Zion Young from Missouri. I think the Bears are going to take Zion Young, the edge rusher out of Missouri. And and also one more thing I want to point out before we move on. It also would not surprise me, Tyler, to see your Lions target Dylan Thieneman. It would help the secondary a lot for the Lions too.
Yeah, anything can happen on night 1.
Yes, indeed. Before we shift to our golden moment in sports, I think it's about time I let Tyler Lavalette have the floor and talk about something very, very special.
Thank you, Jacob. We will, of course, be taking next Friday off. Jake will be down in Alabama fishing. However, what I will be doing is going to the Wings Event Center in Kalamazoo, where the Kalamazoo K-Wings play, as my aunt, Melanie, runs the charity hockey fundraising tournament, Hockey for Life, that had been going on since 2004, except for the 2 years during the pandemic. It used to be played at Wings West for several years until that closed in late September. That rink has been bought out by Black Bear Hockey and will become the Big B Ice Arena in Kalamazoo later September. But for at least this year, it will be at the Kalamazoo Wings Event Center. They have 3 rinks. I think 2, the main rink and one of the other smaller ones are also going to be used for the tournament. they have divisions of they have 3 tournament leagues going on in various age groups, and it's a fun tournament. Some people have called it Hockey Christmas, and it's not hard to see why. It is very popular, and I am super happy that Aunt Melanie and the rest of the Hockey for Life team were able to get into a new arena after the previous one closed due to ice machine concerns. Not the Zambonis, but the machine to help make the ice for the rinks.
Yeah, I'm happy to hear about this event finding a new home too, as Tyler mentioned. And, me and Tyler, we like to talk about sports, but there are bigger things in life than sports. Bigger things and much more out there in life than sports. And charities are a big part of the things that are bigger than sport.
Yep. This tournament has raised a good thousands of dollars, maybe close to around 100 or so thousand to cancer research for the American Cancer Society. It is a disease that is super personal to many of us in the family. So to be able to help do something to help fund cancer research is wonderful. It is a great event down in Kalamazoo. Going to be fun.
Yeah. I will say something that a lot of people at Purdue say, and the Boilermakers, they always have hammer down cancer events, but I'm going to say something that a lot of Purdue students will say. Cancer sucks. Cancer absolutely sucks.
Yeah.
So the fact that we can have charities out there that are putting funding into cancer research with the hopes and the dreams that one day we could find a cure for this, it's extraordinary work. And I've actually been to this event before with my man Tal Lavalette when the location was a little closer to around here. And let me tell you, sports fans, it's a genuine event, a good event for multiple reasons. So, Tyler, hats off to you, man, for all the work you've done. And hats off to the people at Hockey for Life for all the work that you do. It is extraordinary.
Aunt Melanie, if you're watching this, I just wanted to give you and the wonderful team of Hockey for Life a nice little shout out for what you're about to do. It's fun, it's stressful, yes, but it's all going to be worth it when that money goes to help out kids with cancer and the overall American Cancer Society as a whole in funding cancer research. Tremendous respect for what you've done.
Amen to that. For the kids.
For the kids.
Good stuff. And Tyler, enjoy it, man.
I will.
All right. Shifting gears to now we're going to get into this week's golden moment in sports. We're going back to the draft for this one. All right. We have different ways we like to watch the draft and anticipate, the calling of the name for the player, the guy that the team that is on the clock has drafted. For some, it's usually a pretty boring process, but there's some exciting moments sometimes where, we have like celebrities or guys like Pat McAfee announcing the pick and absolutely roasting the Tennessee Titans.
Ouch.
And then for others, okay, I'm just going to say this. Some draft pick announcements are 100% monkey business, as with the case with this clip.
With the 158th pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, the Indianapolis Colts select Nate Hairston, cornerback, Temple.
That's right, sports fans. An orangutan from the Indianapolis Zoo helped the Colts announce their draft pick in 2017. And from what I actually understand, they do this actually every year. They have this same orangutan, or maybe not the same orangutan, but an orangutan from the Indianapolis Zoo. Touch a screen. They trained it to touch a screen to show all the audience watching who the Colts' next draft pick is. And, hey, these drafts, who says you can't have a little fun and have fun, unique ways to announce who the newest guy on your team is going to be? I love that.
Yep, especially when you get into the later rounds when you have all the rapid-fire picks, especially when you hit the final day.
Yep. So, like I said, I think this is something that's been happening every single year, and this happens, I think, in the second round. They don't do this on night one, but rather night two, when, like Tyler said, when they speed up and the door of opportunity is open to just enjoy it. But hats off to the NFL and the Colts organization for getting the Indianapolis Zoo involved in the fun that is NFL draft night. And salute to that orangutan.
Yep, and also salute to Pittsburgh, who's hosting the draft. 2 years ago, we hosted it in Detroit, broke the all-time record Nashville set. You guys are going to have a lot. It's going to be busy. It's going to cause hectic traffic chaos in downtown Pittsburgh and especially in parts of western Pennsylvania. But it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to have the draft in your city now that it's moved out of the Chicago and Radio City Music Hall. So enjoy it. Enjoy the moment when it happens.
Indeed. Pittsburgh, do your best, and Pittsburgh, you're on the clock. All right, sports fans, that's all we got for this week's Friday Roundtable. Once more, special thanks to my man Tyler Lavalette for all his hard work. Thanks to Josh and everyone else here at WTV10 here in Waterford. We appreciate your hard work. None of this is possible without you guys. And follow us on Two Guys Talk Sports and other things on YouTube for the videos like this. And follow us on Two Guys Talk Sports on Facebook for even more stuff that me and Tyler like to do. And with that being said, we are going to sign off. And reminder, me and Tyler, we're off this upcoming week, but we'll be back at it in 2 weeks. This is Jake Waxman.
And Tyler Lavalette.
Wishing you all a good week, everyone. Take care and enjoy the NFL draft and the Stanley Cup playoffs.